Project Motor Racing just dropped their latest trailer showing off how their online ranked multiplayer system will work. And I have to say, this could be one of the greatest destabilising forces for ranked online racing. Not only for iRacing and Le Mans Ultimate on the PC side of things, but also for console gamers on the GT7 side of things. So in this video, we're going to discuss the trailer, we're going to say why this is so significant, and we're going to need to fasten our seatbelts because PMR is on its way. Don't forget to subscribe so you can unsubscribe when you disagree with us. Also, you can click the like button, nobody knows what it does, and thanks as always to all our amazing channel members and supporters. You can join the Church of Force Feedback by clicking the link under the video, but everybody that has regrets it. Thank you. First of all, every time I see it, I have to mention, look at the grass in this game. Good 9 out of 10, it improves in every trailer, blows my mind. Secondly, ranked multiplayer, yes, this is what every racing simulator needs to have, and even more importantly, cross-platform ranked multiplayer. So you're going to get a lot more players on console than you're going to get on PC alone, which means you're going to have more people to race against, more people to measure your EPing against. It's absolutely fantastic. Now, I know some people complain about the gamepad versus steering wheel thing, but trust me, we do racing with subs and some of our fastest users are on a gamepad, and back in the day, some really fast people would just use a keyboard and mouse. Stop the equipment shaming, you losers. All that really matters is the game itself having a good rating and safety rating system so that drivers of a similar skill level and safety level are put into the same races. And Project Motor Racing is definitely going to have a safety and online ranking system, so that's absolutely fantastic. I also think it's great that they've decided to have a little license challenge for the various things in the multiplayer. We've seen that with stuff like low fuel motorsports for ACC. You couldn't join multiplayer unless you passed a basic aptitude test. I think that's great as well. That really helps to filter out people that are completely brain dead from ruining the initial rookie ranked races that all people start off with. Also, what I think is quite nice highlighted in their trailer is their round system, where it will take your 2 best results from races that you've done and then your score from those results based off the difficulty of the people that you're racing against for that round, so you can then progress through a season, if you will, to see what your overall end result is and how well you actually do. Just seems like a nice way for you to actually have something to focus on and definitely drive you into the idea of doing a series rather than just grinding a rating with a single thing. I'm sure there still will be grinding with single things, but I just like the general idea and format of this, where they're really trying to make it so that you're doing some kind of progress, you're doing some kind of season, you're doing something more akin to what would actually be done in the real world, though still in a fun, gamified way. Ultimately, the crux of whether or not this is really compelling or not will come down a lot to the content and the type of events and races that are run, the frequency of those races, but already from the content we've seen, this simulator has some awesome vintage cars, a bunch of GT cars that are always very popular, and crucially, in this trailer, the Mazda MX-5 Cup car. I actually love this vehicle. It's such a fantastic way to get good racing and get up to speed with racecraft. I actually think an MX-5 is better than GT3 cars. Don't complain in the comments. MX-5's beautiful, and look at that, just looks absolutely superb. But yeah, I think the content in this could really be something that makes it stand out. I have to say, Le Mans Ultimate at the moment, which is really great for online racing, is starting to feel a bit tired with it only having the modern GT and LMP2. And then iRacing is great, it's got a fantastic range of content, but you have to pay an absolute fortune for iRacing, and it has atrocious netcode and some of the most unrealistic physics in all of simRacing. So having potentially more realistic physics than iRacing with potentially better netcode, along with a good variety of GT cars, could make Project Motor Racing really stand out. And then on the console side, I think GT7's absolutely superb when you're playing it with a gamepad. The value for money that it offers and the simplicity is really, really great. However, you have to be honest, GT7 is massively lacking in its physics. It really doesn't stand up to the PC simulators. And GT7, I think where it's really good is more in the road cars and the slower vehicles, not really in the proper race car side of things. The slick tyres particularly wonky in Gran Turismo, and the online racing with the lag and everything and the rules and the penalty system, you know, it's just not that good compared to what you get in iRacing, LMU and organised leagues and things. So I think this type of title will be a welcome surprise to people that have got used to how things are in GT7, and probably quite an upgrade. And even if it wasn't an upgrade from your perspective, just having something that's a focused track racer with basically just race cars, I think is something that GT players would really be welcome to, and many players on the console side in general will just be really welcome to. It's kind of what people wanted from the last Forza, I think, but didn't really get. So this is just positioned absolutely fantastically, I think, for those of us that like competitive online ranked racing. Now, obviously, it's just going to actually depend on how well things really do work at the end of the day. And this is coming out on the 25th of November. That's not a lot of time. So who knows? It could end up being a total disaster. But from what you can see from this trailer and the other promotional stuff, and from what we've played of it so far, I think this looks like a genuinely really interesting title. Also, really positively, I'd say all round on the ranked racing online space, we have now a whole bunch of games with this format, which is just what was needed for years. Say, iRacing's always been around with it, LMU recently, you've got Race Room now getting a online ranked multiplayer, which is absolutely fantastic, and that's a free-to-play title, so make sure you check that out tomorrow. GT7, GT Sport, you all know about that, but then of course you've got Rennsport coming out soon as well, which will also be cross-platform, so it's all hotting up in the online competitive space, which for me, as someone that's a big fan of driving into people on the internet and seeing people cry when they lose, because I obviously beat them every time, this is an absolutely fantastic thing for sim racing and for racing games, and we need more of it. So yeah, that's it. That's a summary of the multiplayer trailer for Project Motor Racing. I am moderately excited. I'm drinking my tea twice as fast. Thank you to everybody that subscribed. Make sure you do subscribe so you can unsubscribe, but also keep up to date on all the PMR news as it comes. We'll be covering it. And also, no, that's it. That's the end of the video. I thought you thought something else was coming then, but it isn't. That we're done. See you in the next live stream. Happy tea drinking. Take care and goodbye.